Hello everyone, I'm SJBIT, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of PC SJBIT. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about computer organization and architecture.
So next is another fast memory compared to the main memory is the cache memory. So the effectiveness of the cache mechanism is based on the property of locality of reference. So what is the locality of reference? So the speed of main memory is very low in comparison with the speed of modern processor. So for the good performance, the processor cannot spend much time wasting to access the instruction and the data which is stored in the memory. So important device scheme that reduces the time needed to access the necessary information. Since the speed of the main unit is limited by electronic and packaging constraints, so the solution must be sought in a different architectural arrangement. An efficient solution is to use a fast cache memory, which essentially makes the main memory appear to the processor to be faster than it really is. So the effectiveness of the cache mechanism is based on the property of computer program called locality of reference. So the analysis of the program shows the most of their execution time is spent on routines in which many instructions are executed repeatedly. So these instructions may constitute a single loop or the nested loop or a few procedures that repeatedly call each other. So the actual detailed pattern of instruction sequencing is not important. The point is that many instructions are localized areas of the programs are executed repeatedly during some time period. So the remainder of the program is accessed relatively infrequently. This is referred as a locality of reference. Okay, there are two types in the locality of reference. One is the temporal, another one is the spatial. So what is temporal and what is spatial? So here, if the active segments of the program can be placed in the fast cache memory, then the total execution time can be reduced. So the operation of the cache memory is very simple. The memory control circuitry is designed to take the advantage of the property of locality of reference. So the temporal aspect of locality of reference suggests that whenever an information item is first needed, this item should be brought into the cache where it will hopefully remain until it is needed again. The spatial aspect suggests that instead of fetching just one item from the main memory to the cache, it is useful to fetch several items that reside at adjacent address as well. So the term block is to refer a set of contiguous address location of some size. So another term for the block is this called as the cache line. So the cache memory stores a reasonable number of blocks at a given time. So this number of blocks is small compared to the number of blocks available in the main memory. So the correspondence between the main memory block and the cache memory block is specified by the mapping function. So cache control hardware decides which block should be removed to create the space for the new block. So the collection of rules for making this decision, it is called the replacement algorithm. So the cache controller circuit determines whether the requested word currently exists in the cache. If it is not existing in the cache, then the write miss signal will highlight it. So the write operation is done in two ways. One is the write through protocol, another one is the write back protocol. So what is write through protocol? So where the cache location and the main memory locations are updated simultaneously. So write back is nothing but the technique that is updated only the cache location and mark the cache location in the associated flag bit. It is called the dirty or modified bit. So the word in the memory will be updated later when the mark block removed from the cache. So in while read or write operation is performed on the appropriated cache location. In this case, read or write hit is said to be have occurred. It is a read operation. The main memory is not involved. For a write operation, the system can proceed it in two ways. Okay, that is what the write through protocol and back protocol. So during the read operation, if the requested word currently not exist in the cache, then the read miss will occur. To overcome this read operation, load through or early restart protocol is used. What is load through protocol? So the block of word that contains the requested word is copied from the memory into the cache after the entire block is loaded into cache. So the required word is forwarded to the processor. So during the write operation, if the requested word not exist in the cache, then the write miss will occur. If write through protocol is used, the information is written directly into the main memory. If the write back protocol is used, the block of containing the address word is first brought into the cache, and then the desired word in the cache is overwritten with the new information. So the RAM, we know that that is the random access memory. Any location can be accessed for read or write operation in a fixed amount of time. So the cache memory is a small in size, faster that is inserted between the largest lower main memory and the processor. It holds the currently the active segment of the program and their data. So another concept comes, what is virtual memory? Virtual memory, the address is generated by the processor. It is referred as the virtual or logical address. So virtual space is mapped into the physical memory where the data are actually stored. The mapping function is implemented by the memory management unit. So only the active portion of the address space is mapped into the location in the physical memory. So the remaining virtual addresses are mapped onto the bulk storage devices such as magnetic disk. As the active portion of the virtual addresses space is changes during the program execution by the memory management unit, that changes the mapping function and transfer the data between the disk and the memory. So during the every memory cycle, MMU determines whether the addressed page is in the memory. If the pages is in the memory, then the proper word is accessed and the execution proceeds. Otherwise, the page containing the desired word is transferred from the disk to a main memory. So, virtual memory refers to a technique that automatically move program or data blocks into the main memory when they are required for execution. The address generated by the processor, it is referred as the virtual or the logical address. So, virtual address is translated into physical address by memory management unit. So, during every memory cycle, the MMU determines whether the address word is in the memory. If the word is in the memory, then the word is accessed and execution proceeds. Otherwise, the page containing the desired word is transferred from the disk to memory. So using the direct memory access scheme, the transfer of data between the disk and the memory is performed. So this is what the block diagram depicting the virtual memory address. The processor will not generate the address for the main memory. It is already been created and only it is going to invoke by sending the signal to the cache and from the cache to the main memory. When the information is not available in the cache which is being processor is asking, that time it is going to raise the cache miss signal. So which has to copy it from the main memory to the cache and back to the processor. So when this information is this main memory and the cache memory only can store the lower bytes of data because it is costlier because it is made up of semiconductor materials. So the for the large storage area, processor use the disk storage. Okay, so the address generated to invoke the content stored in the disk storage, it is known as the virtual address or the logical address. This virtual address being converted to the physical address by memory management unit. So then this physical address is going to be copied to the main memory. So that particular content of the memory element which is stored in the disk storage will copy to the main memory and that is being taken to the processor. So that is done by using the direct memory access. So the memory management unit translates the virtual address into physical address. If the desired data or instructions are in the main memory, they are fetched as described previously. If the desired data or instructions are not in the main memory, then it must be transferred from the secondary storage from the main memory. So the MMU causes operating system to bring the data from the secondary storage into a main memory.